Okay, shall we start? The first question I would like to ask, usually in the book session, is how many of you came here because your teacher encouraged you to do so? If that happens to you, raise your hand. Hello? Okay, so all of you came at your own will. That's good. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'd like to introduce a book in which some concepts did give me a great impact to my diet. And I think that after listening to my introduction, you will want to make some change in your diet. Okay? Alright. But first of all, I'd like to start the book session with a riddle. Okay? Now I'm going to give you 3 descriptions, and whoever knows what the answer is, please feel free to raise your hand. I have some presents prepared for you. Okay, first one is, it's a dangerous, addictive white powder that can be found in abundance throughout this country. Not only this country, but also some other countries. Anything in your mind? Be brave. Sugar, that's right! Whoa, so smart. Thank you very much. Alright, I know this has something to do with our title book today. Right, okay, but let's finish reading the following 2 descriptions. It's in particular everything we eat and drink. Do you agree that sugar is everywhere? Almost everywhere in all kinds of foods we eat, we consume. Okay, right. Third one, once we're hooked on it, the cravings can be overwhelming. Right? For the third one, maybe you're not so sure, but after listening to what I will have to tell you today, I believe you will have a better idea why that happened. Okay, so the answer, as the girl said, sugar! Alright. Another question I have for you is, how many of us in this room don't like sugar? If you don't, raise your hand. Some people might be thinking that, well, I don't eat candy, and I don't care for donuts, so I might be the person who don't really like sugar. But is that true? Usually when we think of sugar, we think of all those sweets we have, right? Like candy, like cookies, like donuts, okay? And sugar, can I say that it's our constant companion from childhood, okay? Still now, do you still eat these kind of things? If you don't, then maybe you eat the following things, right? But I'd like to ask you another question, guys. What do you usually eat for breakfast? Anybody?
Bread.
Bread. Okay, yes, that's the most convenient one, right? Yeah. You can eat it in like several minutes and hurry to your class. Anything else you want to say? Yeah.
I think that's kind of convenient. I can eat my bread and then do something else.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So usually, I would say that's number 1 choice for college students, right? Anything else you would eat for your breakfast? Fang Yu? Omelette. Oh, you mean egg cake? Chinese style, alright? Okay, cool. So omelette, yes. That's probably, one option most people will have, not only for college students. Anything else besides bread, omelette, anything else you would choose for your breakfast? The lady who just came in.
I think bagels.
Oh, bagels, yes. Yes. Bagels actually are pretty close to bread, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else? Hey, guess what? The Language Center prepares a book for people who came for this book session. But since there's only one, so I have to decide who can get the book, who can bring this book home. Okay, so well, try to answer questions. The more questions you answer, the higher possibility you can get help. Okay, if you want a novel. Not this book, I'm sorry. Alright. Okay, anything else?
How about rice roll? Is that called rice roll? Rice
You mean? Right.
rice.
Oh, rice dumplings. Rice dumplings. Yes, thank you for your answer. Alright. Yeah, that's true that, most of what you said are on my list. Let's see. I have bread, number 1. Okay? And then rice dumplings. This is what you said, right? And the reasons I choose these 2 pictures is I believe that nowadays most college students get their food, especially breakfast, in convenience stores, right? But I chose different, convenience stores. Otherwise, you will say that I'm Gudong of 7-Eleven or something, right? Anything else? Yeah, omelette, or we say egg rolls. People say it different way, okay? And if you have time, maybe you want to choose noodles, Chinese style noodles, right? And sandwiches, my favorite, right? If your choices are these, you might think that, do these have anything to do with sugar? But actually, the answer is positive, because when your choices are all these foods, you might have consumed more carbohydrates than your body can take. What is carbohydrates? Anybody? We have different names for it.
Glucose.
Huh?
Higher glucose.
Oh, glucose. But that's the bigger glucose. Can I say that? Thank you. You can say it in Chinese.
碳水化合物.
Yes, 碳水化合物. Do we have any other names for that?
You mean Chinese?
You're in Chinese. Sometimes we say it's 糖类, right? Sometimes 碳水化合物. Okay, but what does it have to do with sugar? Right? Here, let's take a look at the following, illustration I prepared for you. Sugar is everywhere, more than we're aware of, right? So that's why today I'm going to introduce this book, not the one on the poster. I'm sorry, because I think this one has more concepts you need to know for your healthy diet. Okay, what is the topic? Suicide by sugar. Gosh, right, is that possible? Actually, every one of us are suiciding by sugar. If those, bread or omelette are what we choose for our meals. Okay, all right, today we're going to get to know some more things about this. All right, so this is the outline of today's book session. First of all, I've done the warm-up, right? And in the following session, I'm going to tell you why we're suiciding by sugar, right? And also we'll get some more ideas of what the wrong diet would look like. And then how can I eat correctly to keep myself healthy, right? So I'm going to introduce a balanced diet all of you might want to know or need to know. And the last, it will be my conclusion. Okay, let's start with the book, Suicide by Sugar. The author, Nancy Appleton. Okay, guess how old she is now? 84 years old. Right, she's an old lady. Okay, and she started the story by confessing that she had been addicted to sugar at an early age, right? She was that kind of person who stored all kinds of bread, cookies, sweets in her closet, right? And she can finish all those in 2 days, right? What happened after that is, starting from she was very little, she started to suffer from all kinds of diseases, a lot of health problems, right? So she started to think, what might be the cause of all her illnesses, until she went to a conference introducing something about sugar, and she started to think maybe all her health problem has a cause. That is sugar. Okay, so she started to do some research on sugar, and she has very astonishing findings, right? And in chapter 2, she started to share the reasons why sugar is ruining your health for 20 years. I mean, she has spent more than 20 years researching on how sugar can do damage to people's health, right? I'll just, say some of them for your reference. The first one is sugar can suppress the immune system. Immune system, which is very important for us. If there's something wrong with our immune system, we'll get sick right away. 免疫系统, okay. So sugar can suppress your immune system, and something like sugar causes food allergies. How many of you have allergy problems? Raise your hand. Like when the weather gets cold. Oh, you mean skin allergy. Right? Some people have allergy, so they have some problems on their nose, right? Whenever they are exposed to cold air, they start to achoo, achoo, right? And usually I'll see a pile of tissues on students' desks. That's what a sight to see. Okay, all right. So sugar can actually cause food allergies, and sugar can make the skin wrinkle. Girls, are you worried about that? You've never had that idea that sugar can make your skin wrinkle, right? That means you will look old very fast if you consume too much sugar. Okay, so this is something you have to be careful about. Sugar lowers enzymes ability to function. Enzyme, 酵素, right? Which is very important, which has a lot of functions in our body, right? The sugar can also cause depression and decrease emotional stability. Have you heard about this? That's why now lots of elementary schools start to ban sugary drinks at school. Have you heard of that? 很多国小都不可以喝手摇杯, and these are, some reasons. Sugar can decrease emotional stability. Sugar reduces learning capability. Okay, maybe you are old enough to take it, but for kids, as long as they eat too much candy, drink too much sugary drinks, it immediately affects their studies. Okay, right? So many problems, right? And before I move on, there are some words you need to know. Immune system, which we saw in the previous slide, and the following ones are also very important. Endocrine system, which is 内分泌系统. Okay. Digestive system, what is this? 消化系统. Okay. Whenever I have Chinese there, I think that's difficult. That's a difficult word. But whenever I leave it blank, I believe that that's one of the vocabulary words you need to know. Okay. So if you don't, try to memorize it today. Okay. Mineral. 矿质, right? Enzyme is what we just saw. 酵素. Okay. These are some more words. Okay. Before I start to explain what happens to our body when we start to, consume sugar. Carbohydrates, 碳水化合物, 糖类. Glucose, 葡萄糖. Fructose, 果糖. Insulin or pancreas. These are, also very important glands we have in our body. 就是我们身体呢，其实有很多的腺体。Okay, 这两个呢都是腺体里面非常重要的。And these words will, appear again and again in the following slides. Okay, so you have to know pancreas, which is one of our organs, and it secretes insulin, which is 胰岛素. Okay, and another very important gland is adrenal glands, 肾上素. Okay, and this is what it secretes. 肾上腺素. Okay, adrenaline. And then 2 more words. When our our sugar blood is low, we will have this problem, hypoglycemia. Okay, and another one is hyperglycemia. What is the difference of these two words? There's something I want to say. There are two prefixes. You know prefix? Hyper. The prefix hyper means high. 所以这个叫做高血糖. Okay. Hypo, low. Okay, so this is 低血糖. We will have some other hyper words coming very soon. Okay, so after knowing all these words, now let's move into the third chapter, which tells us a very important concept, that is homeostasis. What is homeostasis? It means the balance in the body. In Chinese, we say 体内平衡. Okay, how important it is. Here we get a complete definition. Homeostasis means that internal balance of bodies, electromagnetic and chemical system. Right? So anyways, the balance of our body. Okay? And you know what is the difference between healthy people and sick people? One group of people can maintain the homeostasis in their body and the other group can't. Alright, so when there's something wrong with your homeostasis, you get sick. Alright, so this is something you have to learn here. Right? However, sugar is the killer for homeostasis in our body. And do you want to know how that happens? Okay. So, are you hungry now? How many of you didn't eat anything before you came to the book session? Right? If you have choice, what would you choose for your meal? If you choose all these, as we said, okay, right? There's a problem. What problem is that? Let me talk about where our nutrition comes from first. Actually, there are three main resources where we can get our nutrition. The first one is carbohydrates, right? The other one, oil. The other one, protein. Okay, I can't change the word, I'm sorry. I got the slide from some other resources, but for some reason, this is a picture, so I can't change anything. All right, so these are the three main resources we get our nutrition, and let's see what happens. Oh, let's take a look at this one. Carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates are broken down into sugar, or we can say glucose or fructose. Okay, whatever you name it, there are different forms of sugar. Okay, all right. So this is what is happening in our body, right? And if you eat food, these food will be turned into glucose, or let's say sugar. All right, easier to say, right? What are these types of food? Grains, like rice, corn, oatmeal, etc. Food made of grains, noodle, the steamed bun, okay, the bread you eat, right? Or some root and stem vegetables. In Chinese, you say 根茎类的植物. So don't think that if you eat vegetables, there's no carbohydrates. No, wrong concept. Okay, all right, and even fruit. There's some senses of carbohydrates, right? Processed food, definite. Low-fat products like low-fat milk. There's some carbohydrates, okay? Let's say 85% of foods you can get in hypermarkets such as 大润发, Costco, okay? Whatever food they sell, you can get foods with carbohydrates everywhere. 85 is at a very high percentage, right? So it's like almost everything you eat contains carbohydrates, right? And what is going to happen after you consume all these foods? Okay, this is what happened to our blood sugar. When you eat, let's say, a bread, okay, your blood sugar will get up and up right away, right? And when this happens, actually, some of the glands in your body start to sense there's something different. The sugar blood is going high. Okay, so they're there. Get ready to do something. And the first one Chinese. 胰岛腺, right? 胰脏 is the first one who start to take action. Okay, what do you think it does? It start to secrete this. Okay, I'll use this verb a lot in the following part. What is, this is not secret, right? This is, I'm sorry, secrete. What do you think it means when I say pancreas start to secrete, what is that? Yeah, what is that word? Starting with S. Okay, we'll see. So it starts to work, and then what is the function of pancreas? To keep down the blood sugar, right? So our body will keep it in balance, right? So this is what's happening in your body when you consume some food and the sugar blood start to get high, and some other glands are starting to work to keep the blood sugar down, okay? And the first one, as I said, is pancreas. The second one is the okay, I have, some illustrations here, right? The first one is this, okay, insulin, right? As we say, pancreas secretes insulin. So insulin started to be secreted here at this point when the blood sugar is getting high, right? And the second one who functions, and this says that when your blood sugar is getting high, you start to feel fatigue. What is fatigue? Tiredness, right? You start to get tired. So I don't know whether you found that when you eat something which is sugary, you get tired easily. Okay, if you're careful enough, or if you are very sensitive of your body, you might have found it. Right? And another thing which is happening is when your sugar, when insulin started to be secreted, your blood sugar is going down. When it is like down to this point, what happened? You feel hungry again. And what happens like 2 hours after you have your meal? You think, yeah, this is the right time for me to have some cookies or some other sweets to make you feel better. So this is the time when you start to eat something and your blood sugar is going high, and if you keep on eating, how many meals do you eat a day? 3 meals, yeah, but how many times do you eat in a day? More than 3, I guess, right? Some 6, some 7. So every time you eat, your blood sugar is like going up and then down and up and down, just like roller coaster, guys. Right? And another thing would also start to take action, that is adrenaline. Okay, adrenaline is also secreted because when it senses that there is insulin, then it starts to think that there's something wrong in the body. Right? So, this is what's happening in our body. This is our sugar, glucose, and then here comes insulin, and then here comes adrenaline, and then they come ups and downs, ups and downs. What's wrong with that? Let's review. Okay, sugar is ingested, blood sugar rises, pancreas secretes insulin to bring the sugar level down. Okay? And pancreas became exhausted when he has to go up and down, up and down, up and down. Anyway, what we eat keeps them very super busy, right? Okay, so when it becomes exhausted, it starts to malfunction by secreting too much or not enough insulin, right? That's when there's something wrong in our body, right? And what happens is hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia started to happen, right? 所以那什么高血糖啊、低血糖，反正你的血糖就这样一直震荡，一直震荡，所以呢，所有的什么高血糖、低血糖问题都出现了 ，OK？ And besides pancreas, as I said, some other glands come to aid, including adrenal glands, which secrete Androline. Okay, all right. So this is what's happening, and that is to say, these are not the only two glands which secrete something. The whole endocrine system is in disarray. Disarray means disorganization. So everything is in a mess because they're too busy, secreting something, and then when they're exhausted, they malfunction, right? Everything happens like this, and when everything goes up and down, up and down, up and down, that's when you get sick easily. Okay, that's why I say in the end, all kinds of health problems comes just because there are ups and downs of your sugar blood. Okay, and here comes another problem. When your sugar blood goes up and down, and you keep, eating something sweet, containing a lot of sugar, like tea, milk tea, bread, cookie, the ups and downs, the unstable blood sugar cause some other problems like fatigue, as I said, emotional stability. You feel like upset for no reason. Okay. Obesity, definitely, right? Okay, the problem of fatness, right? Fatty liver disease, in Chinese we say 脂肪肝. Fatty organ diseases, some 脂肪, some other things, 就是脂肪什么其他的那个器官. Okay, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, and diabetes. You know all these words? Diabetes. This is something people are more familiar with, right? 糖尿病. What about hypertension? Another name for it, hyper blood pressure. 高血压, right? And another name for this word, hyper blood cholesterol. 高胆固醇. How do we say this? 高血脂. Yeah. So all the, in Chinese we say 高. All the problems of 三高, hyper something, hyper family start to, come and take the lead, right? And some other problems like chronic inflammation. What is this? 慢性. Chronic means that, it takes a long time, right? So chronic inflammation, 慢性发炎, gout, 痛风, dementia. Yeah, a common problem for old people. Parkinson's disease, and eventually here comes the cancer. Okay, so as you can see, all these problems happen just because we consume sugar. Sometimes too much, sometimes as long as you consume more sugar you should take. Okay, all these will happen. So what is the amount of sugar our body can take each day? Do you want to make a guess? Oh, 20 grams. Good guess, right? It's easier for us to imagine how much we need. We all have teaspoons, right? Some teaspoons are in a certain depth. 有一种那个比较稍微有点深度的那个汤匙. Yeah. If we use the teaspoon to count, the sugar we need per day is 2 teaspoons of sugar. But, well, do you think we consume that much per day? I guess more than that. Okay, think about one thing. Soybean milk. Have you ever drunk soybean milk without sugar? Raise your hand. Oh, yeah. But have you experimented that if you want your soybean milk to taste sweet, how much sugar do you need?
About 3 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons.
Okay. My experiment is it takes 4 teaspoons to make, like a bigger cup of soybean milk sweet. So that's a lot. Once you drink the sugary drink, you have everything you need for a day or more than that. Okay, so with these health problems happens, yes, excessive intake of sugar will cause all these problems, and this is happening to every one of us. Alright, so well, in chapter 6 of this book, the author also mentioned sugar-related diseases and conditions, and these are all in the previous slide we have, right? Cancer and metabolic syndrome is the only thing we don't have. 代谢症候群, some problem with your metabolic system, right? Dementia. So, in the last chapter, chapter 7, the author did try to give us some suggestions when we are having our meal, when we eat. Okay? These might not be directly related to sugar, but I think these are very good suggestions. So I'd like to list them for your reference. Chew each bite 20 times. Okay? How many of you eat very fast? Raise your hand. If you think you're a fast eater, raise your hand. Oh, you are? Has anybody told you that it's not healthy to eat too fast? Right? Okay. Nowadays we emphasize like slow life, slow eating style. Okay. Alright. So try not to do everything slowly. That's better for your body. And everything you choose, you want to choose each bite 20 times. Have you ever heard that when you eat rice, you have to bite it for 72 times to allow the enzymes to be produced? 告诉我你们吃米饭的时候要嚼72下，你才会开始尝到那个米饭的甜味，因为那个时候酵素才开始彻底分泌。How many of us would do that? No. Who has that time to buy something for 20 times? Oh, 72 times. Okay? Right. Don't wash food down with liquors. This is also another theory I learned not long ago. They say that 30 minutes before you eat and 2 hours after you eat, don't drink anything. They say this is the theory of 干湿分离. Have you ever heard of that? And that's because of this reason. If you drink anything when you're eating, all your food will be washed down into your stomach without properly being digested. Okay, so this is also something you have to know. If not 2 hours at least, you should allow 30 minutes for the food to digest before you drink anything. Okay, all right. Eat small meals more often instead of big ones. We have this idea in Chinese, right? 少量多餐. That's it. Okay. And this one is new for me. If emotionally upset, eat less or wait to eat. That means when you don't feel good, wait until you feel better and you start to eat something. Okay? Because feeling sad, feeling upset is not good for your digestion. Okay? Alright. And the author also gives us provides some recipes to 10 hours sweet tooth. What does that mean? If you really want to eat something sweet, you have to make smart choice by having something which is, which won't do too much harm to your body. So here are 2 examples she provides. Egg ring churros. I don't know what this is actually. I guess this is some type of Mexico food. Okay, Mexican food. There's an egg, there's tortilla, 就是它那个就是墨西哥的饼皮，然后上面有颗蛋 and some vegetables. Okay, but this is not common for our Chinese diet, right? Another thing is sweet potato pancakes. Pancakes, yes. How many of you like pancakes? Me too. But see, from now on, we have to, next time, when we step into McDonald's, sometimes they provide pancakes, right? Next time, when you step into McDonald's and there are different choices for you, like chicken, pancake, remember to choose chicken instead of pancake. Okay, alright, so sweet potato pancakes, something new for us. 地瓜松饼. Well, maybe you can go back home and ask your mother to make some for you, right? But since these are not common for us in our Taiwanese diet, I would like to give you some more suggestions for you to eat wisely. Okay. Now let's think about this words. How many of you know how we call this? In Chinese we say 什么金字塔 right? 饮食金字塔 I'm not sure. Right. And well, in Chinese I gave it in English I gave it a name, diet pyramids. Right? What does the traditional diet pyramids tells us? See, for grains, for like bread, or for foods which contains carbohydrates, we have to eat like 11 portions. Wild fruit, 4 portions. Vegetable, 5 portions. And eggs, meat, for 10, 3 portions. Milk, 3 portions. Oil, well, try not to, consume any oil because it's not good for your health, right? Is this how we are taught? However, compared to the structure of our body, in a human body, we have water, which take up 60%, okay? For 18%. Oil or fat, 15%, okay? So, vitamin 2%, carbohydrates 5% only, minerals 10%. Let's compare the percentages of what we have in our body and the diet pyramids, the traditional diet pyramids. What is the difference? Take protein for example. In our body we have 80% of protein, but we are told to eat only 2 to 3 portions a day. So is there anything wrong with the diet pyramids? I mean the traditional one. Should be something wrong because these two don't correspond to each other, right? Okay, so is that possible we do something, we make some change in the pyramids and do it upside down? Does that make more sense if we eat more protein, more milk, and abundant quantity of vegetables and 20% of starch? Okay, so we call this new diet pyramids 3-3-2-2. In Chinese it says that 1-3 for 10. Oil should take up each 3 parts of the 30% of your diet. Okay, and vegetable 20%, starch or let's say carbohydrates 20%. Okay, for fruit, yes, 1 or 2 portions a day. Okay, so is that possible? This corresponds to the structure of our body better. 这个其实比例上比较像我们身体刚刚我们看到的人体结构。Okay, so we call this diet 3-3-2-2. That is to say, you have to take 30% of protein, 30% of oil, 20% of starch, 20% of vegetables. But you might have a question on this one. So am I supposed to drink oil? Not really. But how can you make good use of oil in your diet? How many of you have ever been in Italian restaurants? You know how they eat their bread? Usually they will have, like a plate of olive oil, right? There's some like a vinegar. 可是去意大利餐厅的时候，他们通常都会给你一小碟的橄榄油，上面有油醋，然后用来干嘛？沾面包吃。Okay, does that make sense? Yes, because if they do so, they can consume enough oil in their body. Right? Okay, so this is one way you can have your oil, and you can also have your oil on your salad. Does that make sense? Yes, okay? Or you can put oil in your rice. Yeah, that's how I, eat my meal most of the time. Okay, all right. So, an example of the balanced diet, if you have a lunchbox like this, okay, you can't start with rice because that would definitely cause all the health problems we have just mentioned. Okay, so what you do is, with your rice, you have to add oil, okay, add oil, and then you have to make sure that there's protein. Protein, where does protein come from? Meat, yes, some other resources. Some people believe that we can only, consume protein from meat, but are there any other resources?
Beans.
Beans, yeah, good choice. And actually, some vegetables contain rich protein. You know what that is? One example, 咸菜. So indeed, some vegetables and beans and some other resources do contain protein we need. Okay, so this is how you can eat your meal to keep yourself healthy. And there is another very important thing, sequence. Okay, 吃的顺序很重要. As I said, you don't start with carbohydrates. Okay, that would definitely, cause all kinds of health problems. You start with protein or oil. You know why? Because with these, they can slow down the going up of your blood sugar, right? So, protein first, oil follows, vegetables then, and then starch. The last thing you consume, okay? Alright, so after eating like this, after trying to start a balanced diet, your body will start to sense some difference. Okay, you will start to feel like you are full of energy. Alright, and you can say goodbye to fatigue at this time, and your temperature will be higher. What's good about higher temperature? Have you ever heard people say that when your temperature is higher, it's not easy for you to get sick and get cold? 就是有些人呢，他的体温比较高，其实那样的人比较不容易生病。相反来说，有些人那个手脚常常冬天到就很冰冷啊，对，那个就是身体比较虚的。Okay, so higher temperature does make some difference, and you will feel that your body is lighter. Do you want to feel that way, or you want to feel happy? Of course, lighter is better, okay? And you'll have a clear mind when you're doing everything. Is that very important for you college students? To have a clear mind? That you make right choice, make smart choice, and you can, when you study, even people get into your brain successfully, right? A clear mind is definitely very important. Good sleep quality. How many of you have no problem falling into sleep and then have a good night's sleep? Raise your hand. Cool, good for you. Actually, that doesn't happen to everybody. Some people do have sleep problems. Okay, right, so keep on. No sickness haunting when you eat correctly, wisely. Okay, alright. So these are the reference you can have in like Amazon or in Bookline. Right? If you want to get more information, this is probably the second book you want to read, Blood Sugar Solution. Okay, the one which is on the poster, right? And some other books like these, although I haven't read it. And also, you can get a lot of information on websites. Okay. All right. So, guys. What would you eat for your next meal? Do you still choose those foods which contain a lot of high carbohydrates? If you do, yeah, then what problems will cause? You have to take it in mind. Right? So I hope that after listening to today's book session, you have decided not to suicide by sugar and make a smart choice on the food. Okay? Eat to live or eat to die? Do we eat to live or eat to die? Originally, everybody wants to eat to live, right? To survive. But nowadays, I'm afraid that, we are eating to die. You know why? Think about all those additives in your food. Right? Food safety is a big problem nowadays. You don't know what they put in your food. Even if you eat like chicken, cows, beef, they put a lot of chemicals in there. Yeah, to make the animals grow bigger and bigger. So when you eat all the meat of those animals, you consume all those chemicals in your body. And what will those chemicals do to your body? You never know. So I constantly tell my students, if you don't make smart choice on your food, yes, there is nothing happening now at this moment. Okay, so you want to eat what you can. But 40 years later, when you go to the doctor and the doctor say, sorry, cancer. And you yell to yourself, why me? Why me? God, tell me, why me? Don't ask God. Ask yourself what you have been consuming for the 40 years. Does that make sense? Yes, guys, if you don't want that to happen to you in the future, make some change now, okay? Eat to live or eat to die. It's all your choice. Guys, thank you very much for coming to the book session today, and I hope that every one of you, after leaving this room, you have made up your mind to make a smart choice. Thank you very much.